Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So today we are taking a look back at 2021 and I wanted to share with you my top 10 favorite things that I knit last year. So this is kind of a combination list of things that I either thought were really fun, that they had some interesting techniques, or things that I know that my family is going to get a lot of use out of. So I've got accessories, sweaters for myself, my husband, my daughter, my son, just everything. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it with some accessories. Now, I do want to put a disclaimer on the accessory portion of the video because all of these are items that I have designed myself, and 2 out of the 3 of them do have how to knit patterns available on YouTube as well as written instructions over on my blog. So I'll link everything down below if you want to check it out. But the first thing that I wanted to share with you is a pair of socks. So these are my little cozy cuff socks, and I had knit these a while back. I want to say February, March of last year, but I've worn them a lot. These are made out of a Plymouth Happy Feet 100 yarn. It's a hand-painted yarn in the colorway A Tuscan Spice, and you can definitely tell that they are hand painted because this one is much darker than the other, but they're really pretty. So they've got a nice little mock cable here. It's not actual cabling, so if you're not ready for that, it's okay. It's just a really nice simple little ribbed detail up there, and then it also has a honeycomb heel that I really like. These are worked from the top down, starting with a German twisted cast on, and this is one of my favorite designs for socks in general. I also really liked ribs. I also really like ribbed socks, if I can speak. They're really good for beginners. So if you're interested in beginning sock knitting, then I do also have a ribbed sock tutorial that I can link down below if you want to check that out. But these were really fun to design, and I've been wearing them a lot more than my ribbed ones. So had to share those. And then I do also have another pair of socks that I wanted to show you. And I don't have a how to knit video on these yet. I'm hoping to get that out soon, but this is a pair of really long ribbed socks. These I have worn quite a bit. They're made out of a Fiber Company Wandering Souls Amble yarn in the colorway Blackbeck. So it's a really dark blue, kind of like a raven, and I just love these so much. These are actually worked from the toe up. So it has just a simple K1 slip 1 sort of heel on there, and then the entire leg is ribbed. I didn't have to do any shaping with this because once again it is ribbing, so then it fits a lot better, and they just turned out really nice. And the other thing that I really like about doing toe up socks is that this is an entire skein of yarn. I have both socks here. This is one skein of yarn, and I didn't have to worry about running out of yarn for a second one, and yeah, it just worked out really well. So yeah, love these. I think they turned out really well. I am hoping, like I said, to do a how to knit video on these at some point, but they were definitely a favorite of mine, and they are so cozy, especially in these cold winter months. So those are my socks. And then I also wanted to share with you a children's hat pattern. This is a newer pattern for my channel, and like I said, I will link it below. I made one for both my son and my daughter. These are out of a cascade rebound yarn, and it's made out of recycled polyester and cotton. This is a little faux fur pom-pom from Rowan that I've had for years. It just kind of ties on there, and yeah, love these hats as well. So this one is for my daughter, and it is out of the color Peach Blossom. And then this is the one that I made for my son, and it's out of the colorway Denim. And the other thing that okay, so there are a couple things that I really like about this. First, it has a super wide ribbed brim, so it will fit a lot of different head sizes. My son is 2 years old and my daughter is almost 5, and both of these hats are knit exactly the same. They fit them both really well. I just have to change the length of the brim. And then I also really love the top here. I decided to do a 5 wedge decrease so that it looks like there's a little star on the top of their head. And yeah, I don't know, I just really like that. And then the other thing that I did decide to do was a tubular cast on for the edge here, which I think just gives it a nice little polished finish. And yeah, love these. And I am hoping to do an adult version soon. I did get some gray yarn that I think would be really pretty, and so once I get around to that, then I will put that video up for you as well. So those are the accessories that I really loved making this past year, and now we're going to move on to sweaters. And I think the way that I'm going to organize this is starting out with the smallest members of my family and kind of going up in size. So the first couple sweaters I wanted to share with you are for my son Charlie, who is 2 years old, almost 3. He'll be 3 in this summer. And the first one that I wanted to share with you, I'm honestly not really sure if it was from this past year or 2020. It was kind of one of those where it was either the very, very end of 2020 or the very beginning. But either way, it's pretty much my favorite little sweater on him. And I've got some buttons that I'm trying to button up, so sorry if I'm stalling here. But this is the Augustine cardigan by Anna Dervaux. There we go, it's all buttoned up and everything. This is made out of a Cascade Heritage yarn in the colorway Camel. I love this yarn. I have used it so many times. I knit a blueberry blouse for my daughter Evelyn out of this once, and it was so, so cute. And okay, just a quick honorable mention here. I did also make the blueberry blouse by Pernille Larsen for my daughter this year out of a Cascade Heritage yarn in the colorway White, and that would have been in today's video if I could find it, but I'm not really sure where it is, so sorry about that. I really love that one as well, but yeah. Anyway, the Augustine cardigan, super duper cute. It has an all over moss stitch for the body, and then it has some stockinette sleeves. And then it also has this really pretty shawl collar. So when he wears it, he looks like a little grandpa, and it's the cutest thing ever. I absolutely love this. And so even if it was from 2020, I still had to share it with you because it's honestly one of the top 2 sweaters that I have made for my son. I love it so, so much. And if you have a little boy that you are knitting for, I highly, highly recommend that one. Then I also have the teddy bear sweater by Petite Knit. This one is out of a Cascade Heritage yarn as well in the colorway Gray Heather Gray. One of those, and this one is so cute too. I really want to make this exact same sweater for my daughter, but I haven't gotten around to it, and I know I've been talking about that all year. It just still hasn't happened. There have been a few other sweaters that have kind of taken precedence over this one for her, but it's so, so cute. And I do also want to quick mention, so this is a completely stockinette sweater. It's a really great, just basic sweater pattern in general. So I've used this just plain. I've done it with the embroidery. Either way, it's really cute. But I did want to say that the embroidery, not that difficult. I am not someone that is very good at embroidery. It's usually pretty lopsided, but the instructions were very clear on this. It really worked out very, very well. Love it. And I love seeing my little boy in that. It's so cute. Love it. So if you guys have followed me this past year, you probably remember that I had a definite run where I was using basically only Cascade Heritage yarn. And the next sweater that I wanted to share with you is for my daughter, but it's also using that same yarn. This is in the colorway Golden Yellow, and it is the Bohemian Ruffle top by Pernille Larsen. I knit this a couple times actually, not this year, but I had knit it out of a Madeline Tosh Twist Light yarn, and I can't remember the colorway. That was back before my son was born actually, but I did re-knit it this past year, and it's so, so cute. I love it. So it's knit from the bottom up, and it has a picot edge here, goes all the way up to the kind of princess waist or empire waist. I don't remember what that's called, but you do some decreases, and then you knit the front, and then you knit the back, and then you go back in here and pick up stitches along the edges to make the side panels. And then it's got a little folded band here for the armholes, and then you go back and you pick up stitches for the ruffles. He finished with an I-cord neckline. There are so many different elements to this sweater, and that is definitely something to remember if you are thinking of knitting anything by Pernille Larsen. She has a lot of really amazing patterns, but they do use some different techniques that I think are really fun, but for a beginner knitter, that's probably not where you want to start. So yeah, love how this turned out. I don't know if I'll be making another one for her. She's getting a little bit older now, so I don't know if this is kind of her style anymore, but so cute. Really, really love it. And the other sweater that I wanted to share with you is a little bit more, I don't want to say age appropriate, but where she's at in her life, it works a little bit better. So this is the Birch Sweater by Jessica McDonald. It's made out of a Malabrigo Machida yarn, and this is in the colorway Neverland. It's a really, really pretty pink. It's got a lot of nice variation in there. It's just so pretty. And then I also really like the cables. And I know I'd mentioned this in my December knitting update because I just finished this, but the cable pattern is actually really easy to memorize as well. These cables line up every 12 rows, so it makes it really, really easy. Just a nice sweater, love it. And then the other nice thing about this for kids is that the sleeves are intentionally knit a little bit long so that you can roll up the edges here, and it's so cute. I absolutely love it. And maybe I'll have to share a picture of her wearing it on Instagram or something, because yeah, this, just holding it does not do it justice. It's so cute on her. Moving on to the sweaters that I knit myself. This was really hard to pick just a couple of sweaters to share in this video because I really did. I loved everything that I knit and I wear it a lot, but there were a couple that I wanted to share with you today. So the first one is Pink Fizz by Andrea Mowry, and I knit it in white because I wear white more. And this was out of a Cascade Heritage yarn in the colorway White, paired with a Sugar Bush Drizzle yarn in the colorway Icicle. So they match very well, but there is a lot of fuzz to it. I don't know how well the camera's gonna pick it up, but the thing that made this one stand out a little bit more than some of the other sweaters that I knit is the lace detailing. So there are lace panels on the front, like both sides of the front, as well as on the back. So the front and back are basically the same, if you can see that. And because of the lace, that made knitting this sweater way more fun. I really enjoyed the challenge of trying to keep track of the charted instructions, and I think it turned out really well. I really enjoy looking at it, and it was really fun doing. I love the split hem here. It makes it really nice to pair with leggings. Just a really nice all-around sweater, and it was a really fun thing to make as well. So a couple of bonus points there. Really enjoyed that. The other sweater that I wanted to share with you is of course the one that I'm wearing right now. This is the Oslo sweater by Petite Knit, and I made it out of a Fiber Company Wandering Souls Amble yarn in the colorway White Heather. Love how it turned out. So it's got a nice kind of roomy armhole area right here, nice long ribbing for the cuffs. The body is actually tapered, so it cinches in a little bit at the waist. There's a drop seam here, or mock seam in the back. It has a folded neckline, which gives it just a little bit more structure. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's a simple stockinette sweater, but then it also has all of those other little elements that Petite Knit is just known for. I absolutely love her designs, and I don't think that I included this particular one in my top 10 knits by Petite Knit, but I do have a video on my favorite designs, and you can check that out in the description box if you are interested. But yeah, love this sweater so much. I finished it early December, and I've been wearing it constantly since then. The last sweater that I wanted to share with you is the only menswear sweater that I knit this entire year, which makes me feel kind of guilty, but at the same time, Joe did tell me that I didn't have to knit him any more sweaters, so that's kind of on him at the same time. But anyway, the sweater that I knit is Svensson by Jared Flood, and this is another designer that I really want to go through and pick out my top 10 favorites to share with you, because he does a ton of really amazing designs both for men and women. I really love his designs for men. They can be a little bit wide for my husband, who is very tall and slender, but I I mean, I've been knitting long enough. I can alter patterns to fit his body. But anyway, like I said, this is the Svensson pullover, and it's made out of a Malabrigo Rios yarn in the colorway Blue Jean, and I love how it turned out. So this is actually kind of similar to the Birch Sweater in that it has some horseshoe cabling on the sides here, but it is a little bit more intense because then you have some herringbone cables on the sides of those horseshoe cables. We've got some moss stitch over here, some honeycomb cabling in the center, so lots and lots of cables. And this is also a piecewise constructed sweater. So there's a front portion, back, sleeves, and then you pick up for the neckband at the end. Looks like there is a tubular cast off for the neck, and I think it's tubular for everything. Yeah. Oh, and then it also does have a twisted rib detail on there as well. So what the twisted rib does is it just makes things kind of pop a little bit more so you can really see that ribbed texture better, whereas just a regular K1 P1 rib is a little bit more subtle. So I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it, but this is just a regular K1 P1 rib, and then the Svensson has the twisted rib. So you can kind of see there is a little bit more definition on that twisted rib, but yeah, absolutely beautiful, really love it. And the only thing that I would say really about the Svensson is that the neckline is pretty wide. So I would recommend pairing it with a collared shirt. It doesn't really quite work without an undershirt, but that's just my opinion. If you have a different one, that's totally okay. Anyway, I think that that is going to do it for my top 10 favorite knits of 2021. Please let me know in the comment section either what your favorite thing was from this video or what your favorite thing was that you knit from this past year. I would love to hear from you down in the comment section. And if you liked this video, certainly give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more. But thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!